I pray, dear God, that participants will have a clear understanding and give brief remarks and useful information, dear God, that will help us at the ministry to continue in our efforts to help our young people. We pray, dear God, that as we go through this launch, dear God, that everything, dear God, will go as planned. We pray, God, that the equipment and the personnel, dear God, would be in tune with everything and that everything works well, and that the listening audience also, Lord, will take part and inform us, help us to help them, give feedback, give useful feedback, and to participate fully in this project. We pray, dear God, that at the conclusion of this project, dear God, that our objectives and our goals would be met, and that at the end, dear God, the youth will say that we would have done something good for them. I pray, dear God, your blessing again on this launch. I pray, dear God, for the management of the ministry, and that we will continue, dear God, to come together, informing ideas and ways in which we can help with intervention for our youth. I pray, dear God, that as we leave this place, dear God, that we will go to our end of our journeys in peace and in safety. Amen.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sharon Bishop. You can please sit. You can sit now. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Miss Minister of Youth and Community Empowerment, Honorable Adrian Ford, MP, is here with us. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, Mr. Andrew Gittins, as well. Thank you very much. Director of Youth, Mr. Cleviston Hunt, Principal Youth Development Officer, staff of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, staff of the Ministry of Education, technological and vocational training participants from schools, youth and community groups of organizations, specially invited guests, media houses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Y2Y. This is the start of a new initiative, a program for the youth, by the youth, for society. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Andrea Titus, Senior Youth Commissioner, to give her welcome remarks. You okay with the mic, or you need to fight with it? Yeah.
Master of Ceremonies, Minister of Youth and Community Empowerment, the Honorable Adrian Ford, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, Mr. Andrew Gittins, Director of Youth, Mr. Cleviston Hunt, Principal Youth Development Officer, Mr. John Hollinsworth, Head of Department, Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, senior officers in the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, officers, Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, moderators, specially invited guests, youth and community groups or organizations, and youth from the various communities across Barbados, media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome and thank you for joining us this afternoon at the launch of the community project Youth to Youth 246, better known as Y2Y 246. This project was conceptualized by Youth Commissioner Corey Marshall with the view of using social media as a platform to engage young persons in meaningful and purposeful discussion. We are in a technological era. Therefore, the need to get on board is paramount. Through this project, we have done that. Young people, we are using your world to connect with you, to hear from you. Over the next couple of weeks, we expect to know your thoughts, feelings, and actions on what affects you. Y2Y 246 is driven and controlled by youth. We have created a safe space for you, and we are inviting you to use it, because when you use it, you give us no choice but to act on it. Let me applaud you for being here and for being part of this project. We at the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment stand committed to youth development in whatever form it comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and once again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Andrea Titus. And now we would like to present our trailer for Y2Y 246. We hope you enjoy it.
The youth have a voice that is meant to be heard. Don't be silent. Come share your opinion and let us discuss on the Y2Y 246.
Well, there you go. Well, we'd like to give a chance for one of the men behind this project, Mr. Corey Marshall, Youth Commissioner, a chance to come in and give us a few words on the Y2Y project.
Thank you, Masters of Ceremony. $2.5 billion. I had to actually Google so that I would know how to write down the number. That is the amount of people worldwide who use smartphones. I crave your indulgence for just a few moments while I answer 6 questions. That's okay? Okay, 6 questions. How many of you in here pin your location using Google Maps or Waze instead of asking for directions? Okay. How many of you in here use your cell phone to take pictures at events instead of walking around with a digital camera? How many of you in here store music on your cell phone instead of buying a CD or listening to the radio? And if you do listen to the radio, how many of you use your phone to listen to the radio? Okay. How many of you in here use your cell phone to access local and international news instead of purchasing a newspaper? How many of you in here watch the latest political meetings on Facebook and YouTube instead of going out to the meetings? And last but not least, how many of you in here message people who are in the same room as you instead of talking to them? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no getting away from it. These times in Barbados are the times for smartphones and smart devices. In this regard, we need not see this as a threat, but as a tool and an opportunity. As the leading agency for youth development in Barbados, we will not be left behind. We will continue to conceptualize and implement innovative projects to assist with the holistic development of youth. Project Y2Y 246, or Youth to Youth 246, is projected to do just that. This innovative project will provide the platform for youth to have a say in pertinent issues that affect them. Y2Y 246 is an online show, and as its name suggests, the entire production team will be made up of young persons. Let me take this opportunity to introduce my moderators. Can you kindly stand when I acknowledge you? Ms. Jada Hope. Thank you. Mr. Joshua Sidney. Mr. Christopher Drayton. Our very own Master of Ceremony showing his versatility, Mr. Jose Nelson. And last but not least, Ms. Faith Chatwaka. Our makeup artist is not here today, but she will join us for the first episode. Her name is Brittany Worrell. And we have one of the panelists for our first episode here, Miss Joyanne Skeet, affectionately known as DJ Diamond. Season 1 will comprise of 10 episodes, and the topics for the episodes are as follows. Episode 1, music has a negative influence on youth or not. Episode 2, 52 years of independence, but HIV is still here. Are the shackles really off? Episode 3, we call them special, but do we really treat them that way? Youth with disabilities. Episode 4, youth and mental health. Episode 5, looking for a job, but where? Episode 6, the impact of decriminalizing marijuana. Episode 7, coping with conflict, aggression, and bullying. Episode 8 is the educational system suitable for the 21st century. Episode 9, sexual fluidity and same-sex relationships. And the final episode will be the system in review, where our minister, the Honorable Adrian Ford MP, will join us again to do a review of the show and see all the suggestions, the comments, and the dialogue that the youth put forward so that we could drive youth policy in Barbados. The main goal of this initiative, ladies and gentlemen, is to provide a conduit for the exchange of ideas, information, and programs between the Ministry of Youth and the young people of Barbados. Through the effective management of this project, discourse with our clients would be as easy as open, type, and send from whatever location there may be. At this juncture, where I reference the management of this project, it would be remiss of me not to mention my hard-working committee. They left no stone unturned in ensuring that this project was brought to fruition. And my committee includes our Principal Youth Development Officer, Mr. John Hollingsworth, our Public Relations Liaison Officer, Ms. Wanda Reed Beckles, our Research Officer, Ms. Sharon Bishop, Senior Youth Commissioner, Mrs. Andrea Titus, and our Youth Project Coordinator, Mr. David Denny. None of this would be possible without some assistance from key agencies, and to this end, I would like to highlight the contribution of the Media Resource Department for hosting this event and providing the technical support that made this event possible. And before I go, let me inform you that there will be a season 2. The final episode will be February 15th, and the suggestions from the young persons going forward will fuel the topics for season 2. Oh, and before I go, one last thing. I know it's the last, but this will be the last thing. This project, to get the youth involved, we thought that it would be very important to do a giveaway segment, and we have an ongoing competition where young persons can go on our Facebook page, like the poster, say what is their favorite topic and why, and the committee will meet and go through the topics and why you chose your favorite topic, and the winner will receive lunch for 2 at Accra. That prize, the winner will be announced on the first episode on November 23rd. Thank you.
It's youth, and we want how you feel about it. You understand? That's what we working with. Get through, man.
Well, thank you very much, Corey Marshall. There you have the vignettes for the Y2Y 246. It's going to be a very amazing show, and I hope that all of you tune in when we do have our live stream going on. Just want to break down where you can follow us at on Instagram, DIV Youth 246, Division of Youth Barbados, that is on Facebook, Division of Youth Barbados on YouTube, and www.youthaffairs.gov.bb, and that is the World Wide Web. Or you can email us at division.youth@barbados.gov.bb. So stay in contact with us. Let us know what you think about this show, and don't miss up your chance to win some really cool prizes. We want to give the Minister of Youth and Community Empowerment, the one and only Honorable Adrian Ford, a chance to come up, give his remarks. Pleasure to have you here with us.
Master of Ceremony, Hosea Nelson, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, Principal Youth Development Officer, staff of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, staff of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, staff of the Ministry of Youth participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I greet you this afternoon to launch what I consider one of the most innovative projects coming out of my ministry. The Youth to Youth Y2Y 246 project is testimony to the fact that we take youth development seriously and that our aim is to engage our target group in non-traditional ways. We have recognized that if we are serious in our goal to reach the young population, we have to do so through a medium that is familiar to them, that they are comfortable with, and one that can reach as many of them as possible. It is therefore appropriate that we choose social media platforms to not only address them, but to provide them with a forum that they can offer their input on issues that affect them. This will be an integral part of our strategy, our approach to analyzing, planning, implementing, and evaluating youth programs. My ministry, and by extension, the government of Barbados, intends to place young people at the center of national developmental strategies. These are critical times as we seek to navigate the challenging environments that threaten our development agenda. The views of our youth are very important as we seek to respond to the issues that confront them. Youth unemployment, substance abuse, violence, lifestyle challenges, and family dysfunction have been plaguing generations for far too long, and the time is right to give the youth a voice on what strategies are most desirable and effective in addressing them. No longer will we as policymakers remain in our exclusive domain to diagnose, prescribe, and treat to the issues that affect our young people. As the burden of these issues fall upon you, it is logical that your views on the design of proactive approaches and responsive mechanisms form the core of any attempt to make today and tomorrow favorable and suitable for all young people to attain their full potential. This Youth to Youth 246 project is one of the steps in that direction. We have used surveys, youth consultations, focus group discussions, and local, regional, and international policy instruments, and plans of action to guide our efforts. These traditional approaches have not attained all the desired outcomes. As to my mind, we are not where I would want us to be in terms of youth development. The numbers of youth incarcerated are still too high. Youth unemployment rates are also too high. HIV infection is the highest in this age cohort. The deleterious effects of all forms of substance abuse are wreaking havoc to many young persons, and they are not achieving the academic standards that we expect. We are training young persons in this global world, and the opportunities are limitless. We need, therefore, to strengthen and promote greater opportunities through entrepreneurship and our culture industries. But what and how can we introduce systems to effectively counteract these issues? This is why we want our youth to actively participate in this discourse. In closing, I want to take this opportunity to urge all young persons to log into our program and to feel confident and comfortable to be able to voice your opinion. Your voice will be heard, certainly by this ministry. This is not an academic exercise or pursuit, but a serious attempt to involve as wide a cross-section of young persons in Barbados as possible. We want you to tell your friends of this program, and we know how it works in social media. You just press a button and it gets out. But remember, there is no reverse button. There is not a car that when you put R, it goes back. When you send out a message, that message, when it is received, can have positive or negative effects. We want you to use social media in a positive way. The topics will be varied over the 10 episodes. In that regard, it is sure that it will pique your interest. At the end, I have directed that your views on the presented topics be captured and used to formulate a plan of action to address each and every issue. It is my promise that when the Youth 246 project is completed, it will be used as a blueprint to guide the work of my ministry, as I believe strongly that your input is valid and should form the core of Barbados Youth Development Trust. Thank you.
So I got it. This mic can't beat me. Well, thank you very much, the Honorable Adrian Ford, MP, Minister of Youth and Community Empowerment. Thank you very much for your words. And once again, I'm going to share you guys where you can follow us, and if you want to get in contact with the show and you don't want to miss a single minute of it. So on Instagram, we're at DIV Youth 246. On Facebook, we are Division of Youth Barbados. On YouTube, also Division of Youth Barbados. If you check us out right now, also you'll be seeing the live stream, but always follow that channel, subscribe so you can see all the new episodes as they come up. The www.youthaffairs.gov.bb, that is on the World Wide Web. If you want to follow us, if you use Google Chrome, Firefox, you'll get there. And division.youth@barbados.gov.bb if you want to email us for any questions you have, any suggestions, or give us your feedback on the show. And we'd like to give you guys, another look at one of the men behind this project, the Y2Y 246, Mr. John Hollingsworth, the Principal Youth Development Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. The Honorable Adrian Ford, MP, Minister of Youth and Community Empowerment, Mr. Andrew Gittins, Permanent Secretary, staff of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, staff of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, youth participants, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely pleased to deliver these short closing remarks after the successful launch of this innovative project, Y2Y 246. When it was first conceptualized, there was no indication of the amount of hard work that the project coordinator, YC Corey Marshall, and the coordinating committee had set for itself. Every planning meeting identified a new need, an alternative strategy, and a new creative approach of how this program could be made appealing to its target audience. I must commend YC Marshall for conceptualizing this initiative and for his dedication and hard work in seeing the program to this stage. I know that he spent long days and nights and that he faced many challenges. The planning committee also worked diligently and we also want to thank our technical support for this effort. The staff of the Media Resource Department of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and the Gordon Cummins Studio, we also thank you, and they must all be commended. This is but the start of this exciting project. As you would have heard before, there will be 10 episodes over the coming weeks, which are all designed to give our youth a say on how the issues that impact their development should be addressed. I want to echo the sentiments of the Honorable Minister by indicating that this exercise will not be a talk shop. It will gather your views and collate them for the formulation of policy. This is the approach of the ministry, and this program is an indication of our intention, to ensure that as wide a cross-section of youth are given an opportunity to participate. As we look forward to the coming episodes, I urge you to encourage as wide a cross-section of your peers to log on to the program and to share your views on the topics that will be addressed. We look forward to your participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. John Hollingsworth. And that concludes our launch for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Don't forget our next episode, well, our first episode for Y2Y will air on the 23rd of November. We will be discussing music. Does music have a negative influence on the youth or not? We'll be looking at that, and we hope you enjoy. I will be moderating that panel, so come see yours truly. Once again, I'm going to let you know where you can find us so that you don't miss it. DIV Youth 246, that is on Instagram. On Facebook, we are Division of Youth Barbados. On YouTube, also the Division of Youth Barbados. www.youthaffairs.gov.bb, that is on your World Wide Web. And division.youth@barbados.gov.bb. Send us an email, give us any suggestions, any questions, any opinions that you want to be aired during our show. But we hope to see you then. We hope you watch, and have a blessed day. Well, I think that same-sex marriages in Barbados should be legalized.
Not every wedding music can be allowed to play.
For people around my age, I believe it should be more abstinence than protection.
It's painful, it hurts.
The messages of HIV and AIDS should be more enforced in our society.
We need to be properly educated on what exactly is a mental issue or mental health problems.
Y2Y 246, you miss it, you diss it. Every Friday at 12 noon, be there. We're dealing with issues pertaining to youth, and we want how you feel about it. You understand? That's what we're working with. Get through, man.